here's the greenhouse analogy, the greenhouse effect. We're not going to do that, but there it is. But what this allows us to do, if we take this analogy to the greenhouse, of if we're wanting to extend your summer and fall nails, if we're wanting to increase this life cycle and avoid this where it breaks hardcore, or they all just start chipping, or then we have the ouch, ouch, ouch breaks.
Right.
How do we extend this? Well, let's look at the greenhouse analogy. So for plants, the advantages of greenhouses, it protects it from cold. It can help with too much heat so that you can control the temperature. If there's a drought, you're able to maintain the humidity, optimal humidity within. Like you can have fans, you can have misters, you can do all sorts of things in greenhouses.
Exactly.
Floods can also be too bad for plants. So
Right.
as long as your greenhouse isn't flooded.
So flooding would be when doing your dishes for
Doing
about
dishes.
30 minutes with lots of hot water and no gloves.
Yep. Or taking a long bath, or soaking in a hot tub, or swimming daily, or any of those things that, that strips away the natural thing. So if you think about in the earth, if there's a flood, it can wash away all of the nutrients and the topsoil and everything that plants need to hold on to grow. Same thing with water. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. And the greenhouses, they also protect from extreme weather. They protect from pests. They can actually also increase pests. You can have real problems in the greenhouse, and also malnourishment. If it's in your contained thing, you're able to keep an eye on it and maintain it, and adjust for things that you can't necessarily control when it's out in nature. So,
and I have found that with some of my hanging plants and stuff. I've been having trouble with white flies this year. And so I have found that when my hanging plant starts to not look so great, guess what? It goes straight back in the greenhouse. I'm able to monitor it better. I'm able to spray it with oils, neem oil. And so it really takes it to then exactly this of protecting your nails from the elements. And so I'll let you keep going.
That's what we're going to do. So we're going to talk about that. So gloves, obviously, fantastic way to protect your nails and your skin, especially for me where I have the psoriasis and eczema. I really as I'm looking at all of the boxes in my new place, danger boxes. So it's stuff that strips the oils away that causes problems. So speaking of stripping oils away, like we talked about, one of the hazards that increase your risk for nail breaks, one of these elements we want to protect our nails from is water.
Water is a big deal because the nail plate can absorb 1/3 its weight in water, which kind of doesn't sound like much, but it's a lot. And so water is the universal solvent. So it actually kind of will dissolve water, pull it away. It's kind of like that flood thing. Mm-hmm. And it just pulls the oils out of your nails. Now, your nail bed, the pink part, that's pumping plenty of water and oil from your body, but your nail tips aren't getting it. And so they are drying out like crazy because of water. It's pushing the layers apart because the nail plate can actually, the water is the only thing that can get through, it gets around every cell, but then it also goes through every cell.
And I have an image of that. Let's look at.
Where do you have that?
It's
I don't think you do in this one.
It was last week's.
It was last week's.
The week before. Shoot. So keep talking about water.
Yeah. I was going to say my screen would be too small. I'd show the picture.
Nope. There's Doug.
Were you zipping through last week?
Okay. Yep.
There we go.
So these are the holes. So this is where water is penetrating. So this is looking down on top of your nail in a scanning electron microscope. These are the joints so if you think of we talked about it, if you had 3 toilet paper rolls, I don't have 3 nail pens by me right now. If you put them all together, the connection of 3 points, there's a hole in the middle. I don't have a 3 thing.
I have 3 pens. Hold, please.
Okay. I have 1. Do you want to borrow it?
But I don't know how well it's going to show up because of your screen. So
try it at home. If you have 3 toilet paper rolls or 3 pens or something like that, in between all of those 3, there's a tiny gap. So even though that they're touching on all the sides, there's still a gap. So it's the same thing with your nail structure. There's that joint place where it leaves a little small microscopic hole, which is where the water seeps through. And this is also where...
This picture doesn't show it very well, but there's all of these microscopic holes, but it doesn't show the fact that there's like all of the holes in the individual cells.
Yeah.
And so it's just, it soaks up the water like a sponge. And when it dries out, it doesn't seem to be like logical, but it pulls the oils with it.
Yep. Well, I mean, it's like when you're doing, no, we're going to skip that. That was a bad analogy.
Okay.
I'll zip that one up. So water is an issue. I was going to talk about something else there, but it went away. Water. Okay, it's gone.
It'll come back to you later.
Right along, or it won't, and we'll carry on. So another area of where you're using your nails. Of course, babies are dangerous in general, just because, one, I know we have several people in our group who have new babies or young kids. It's just, you're always washing your hands. You're changing diapers. You're buckling and unbuckling car seats. You're tying shoes. You're dealing with Velcro. You're opening jars. Like everything about having kids is a danger to your nails. And that's okay. So that's part of what the season that you're in your life, in addition to the season that's going on with your nails. You're just in more danger of all of that. So it's, it's like
I was in
hurricane season.
I was in winter for like a decade.
Yeah. So these types of things, one of the things you can do, I know it doesn't work necessarily on the car seat buckle because they're so hard to hold. But you can go to, what is the website for the car seat key? I don't remember.
It may be carseatkey.com.
Carseatkey.com. We have a few left that we're selling. We probably won't be continuing these in the future. There just wasn't enough demand that it was taking up space in our warehouse. So it's still a great product. It absolutely is. It's wonderful. So for those of you who have young kids, or if you're a grandma or grandpa and you want to preserve your nails, there's a visual. Da, 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 da.
The visual. So that slides onto the button, and then you squish it, and it just, all of these little things just pop right out.
It's amazing. So for your own seat belt, you can use your knuckle to unbuckle, just different options of paying attention to where your nails are. So if you had, let's think about a tree, if you had a big long branch that's getting a little bit dry, you're not going to want to go poking things with it because it's going to break if you're wanting to maintain the length. Again, huge danger. Dishes. So dangerous.
And laundry too. Do you have that one?
I don't have laundry. That is another really good one.
Laundry is a big deal, especially jeans and towels.
Because they're so heavy.
They're so heavy, even though they've been spun to death. Mm-hmm. So definitely kitchen gloves in the laundry room as well.
Yep. So we have the Clean One gloves, which are fantastic, available.
My favorite.
They're
I don't understand how they do it, but the flocking inside doesn't crumble.
It doesn't crumble and get under your nails and have that horrible smell, which is wonderful. And I know that a lot of the girls in the group do a mini hydration and put their dish gloves over it. So when Anna and I were going through these slides, we were also talking about you don't want to get too sweaty in your gloves.
Right.
So each of us have different amounts of sweat that we produce. I tend to be a sweaty beast.
Me, not so much.
What I've found with my particular skin and sweat gland production and nail structure, if I leave my gloves on when I'm super sweaty, the sweat does the same effect as water would and starts to actually strip away the oil and plump.
It is water.
The nail. It is water with a few other body chemicals, ammonia and stuff. I won't tell you some random facts about sweat because that's gross. But but it will plump up your nails. And so for me, if I get sweaty while I'm doing a hydration treatment, if I don't take off my gloves, wipe it off, dry out the gloves or get a new pair and start over again, I will have more peeling. The polish will lift, the nails will peel. I have super peely nails anyway. Just call me a banana. Peel me. So be aware of that and pay attention to what goes on with your skin as well. So Anna, you mentioned when you're out gardening, if you do the mini hydration or mega hydration,
I end up too sweaty.
Sweaty? Okay,
it was like
the sweat. Literally
dripping down my arms, and then what it did was it flattened my C curve, and that's what happens in the shower. Because the water gets in there and it relaxes the curve of your nail plate, and pushes all those layers apart. So you have to sort of look at, you need to do the hydration treatment when your body is a little bit cooler.
And that's what I've also really enjoyed about the new body balm formula for hands is the extra beeswax seems to still stick things together more than the lotion stick does. So I
Okay.
personally have a little bit better results on hot days with the body balm in avoiding the extra
I will try that
sweat
more.
absorption. So
Yeah.
there's that. Another one, super dangerous, is
Oh.
making your darn bed. Those darn
I get
sheets.
Corey, I get my husband to do it.
That's great. I
You
don't
don't
have
have
one.
a,
And
you don't have
Elvis doesn't do the bed. He's really good at sitting on the bed and getting in the way when I try and make the bed, but that's about it.
and being the
So
adorable kitty that he is.
he's sleeping right now. He's so cute. So when making the bed, it's the go slow, be very deliberate, be mindful of where your fingers are. Reach first with your knuckles first, and just pay attention to where your fingers are. And
Yeah.
then stuff like zippers. So not just zippers, but buttons, or pulling your pants up, or unbuckling your bra, or whatever it is.
Right.
Like, just be mindful of where your fingers are going, because we want to protect your nails from the elements. And these are, this is just a handful of examples of different dangers to your nails.